I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
Your heart's just like pounding. Yes. It's crazy. It's been a long journey for you.
2 years.
I was there.
We're talking.
Okay. So we'll talk to you and then we'll move the mics to Robert.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. You know, this has been, like I said, a long journey. 2 years. You know, what's going through your head right now?
What's going through my head is exactly what we've known since day one. Robert Branch was not guilty of any of the charges, which he was at that time arrested, but not even charged with. Now we have vindication through the process. Restores my faith in the system. We're just happy that the jury saw it the same way we have all along.
You were congratulated by prosecution. They turned around and said congratulations. I mean, what does that feel like?
Well, we think we did a good job. Glad the jury saw it that way as well. The facts were the facts. You know, I don't want to take any credit because the facts are the facts. And Mr. Branch had unreasonable force used upon this person. I'm just glad we were presented in a format that resonated with the jury.
What happens next?
Well, we're going to decompress a little bit. You know, it's been a long road to get here. I don't have anything scripted for today. You know, we're just happy it went the way that we expected it to go. Go home, you know, hug my son, tell him justice won today.
Yeah, for a while, I mean, you guys, you know, I can see it all in your faces. It's just a huge relief. Did you expect this today, or was this a complete surprise?
You never know what a jury's going to do, although I had faith, the utmost of faith in the process.
We saw you speaking of the jury briefly after the verdicts were read. Is there anything you can share with us as to what they said to you and how they reached these decisions?
It was an emotional experience for everyone involved in this process, the jurors too. They became the conscience of the community in this case. And I just, they didn't share as much of how they reached their decision as much as, you know, unburdening ourselves and the fact that we put a lot of effort into this entire process. And they have too, and we thank them for their service.
And Mr. Branch, is there anything you
Hold on one second. We got to put the mic here.
It's not right now.
I guess not.
Figuring out situations and stuff like that. Thank you to my attorney, Mark Conan. Thank you to everybody that has supported me since 2015. Coming this long, it's been a journey for me. I've been going through so much, and I can still feel my heart pounding, but I really do appreciate everybody. This really been a long ways coming, so I really do appreciate it.
Robert, what were you thinking when they were about to reach the verdict? I mean, it could have gone either way. What was going through your head?
I just wanted to be done. That's all I wanted to be done. I was just scared, nervous, shaking. But when I heard the first not guilty, I was like, oh, that's a relief. And then it kept going on and on and on. And I was like, oh, thank God. And everything just came in play, and they actually figured out, the jury figured out, well, definitely I'm not guilty of all the charges that Mr. Paul Ward did on that day. So I'm just thankful.
And when you came out, a lot of people were clapping for you. How did it feel to have so much support?
Oh, that felt great. That felt great and amazing. Now after this, I'm gonna go home and hug my daughter. So,
how old is your daughter?
She's 1.
You said it's been a 2-year journey, so does this moment seem surreal to you?
Yes, it does. It truly does. It just, now I can go ahead and just probably educate young kids on what to do in the process and dealing with the police. A lot of police out there are actually pretty good. There's some that are bad, that they don't really need to be working, they need to be fired. But there are actually a lot of cops out there that are actually doing a lot of good things.
Specifically for you, is there something that you had been waiting to say until after this was all done to sort of set the record straight in your own words?
No, not really. It just, you know, just pretty much nothing.
The tape speaks for itself.
The tape speaks for itself on what he did that day. And now, you know, he's retired. I wish they fired him, but it happens. So,
What are your thoughts towards him?
I don't know. Just he seemed like a good person, but that day he should have took it to a different level on what he should have did, probably follow his procedures and stuff like that. But he seems like a really good guy. But other than that day, he should have took it to a whole different level. So.
Will you do anything differently moving forward, having gone through this experience?
That day, I stayed in the house and I waited till later on that night.
But no, from now on.
In the future, keep doing the same thing, videotaping. If I encounter a police officer, maybe that officer could be a good cop. You never know. Just videotape everything, you know. So
Have you ever considered what would have happened had you not had your cell phone been recorded?
oh, I'll probably be in jail right now. If it wasn't for that video, I'll probably be locked up right now because if they be taking his testimony against mine. So if I didn't have that video, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Are your parents here?
Unfortunately, no.
His father's in Virginia and his mother got called in on emergency work this morning.
My dad works for the DEA, so
Have you talked to them?
yeah, they constantly calling me, seeing what's going on, and I'm blowing up my phone. I'm like, oh, but yeah.
I talked to your mom last night, and she was so emotional.
Yeah, if she was here right now, she would definitely be emotional. This guy right here, he's the one that really been supporting me. If you want to talk to him, these two right here, man, they be catching up on me.
She was like,
I don't want to break it.
Well, guys, I mean, maybe we're good to go. All right. All right, guys. We're good to go.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're good. Thank you so much. You hung in there, you're fine.
Look at the jury's deliberations while I'm not there and think what it was to them. I think they're the best judges.
I saw the kid, the tear comes out, like, oh God, stop crying.
Consideration of the evidence, but these cases are very, very difficult to be readable from both sides. As far as the nature of the evidence, and again, in this case, the jury paid close attention, took their time in deliberations. The jury was out for a day and a half of deliberations, so we certainly appreciate their efforts, even if we respectfully disagree with the results.
Robert Branch was supposed to come here.
Yes.
He said that were it not for that video, he felt that this would have gone completely the other direction. Do you feel that way too? I mean, how powerful was this piece of video to you?
I think it was a very important piece of evidence for both sides in their evaluation of the case, and certainly it was for the jury as well. So we live in an age now where we have cell phones and people are recording, as I'm being recorded right now, and people go and see incidents taking place, and even if they're not involved in the incident, what do we always see happening right now? Right, everybody goes to their phone. Sometimes on a personal level, I wish people would call 911 or somehow help out people instead of just videoing things. But this is our new reality. It'll be the reality for the rest of our lives, where when things are happening in some way, or shape, or form, there'll be surveillance cameras or cell phones. There's a greater chance of documenting stuff. Okay.
What's the takeaway here for people watching at home who may encounter an off-duty police officer?
Well, it's interesting that you asked the question the way that you did, and that's one of my great concerns in this case. Okay, from the very beginning, okay, retired lieutenant Ford was on duty. He wasn't off duty. He certainly was plain clothes. Okay, my advice I can give to anyone is just obey the law. Okay, be respectful in your interactions with individuals. If you have a concern as to how a contact is proceeding, understand that, okay? Obey lawful instructions. Make sure officers are on scene and handle it appropriately in that fashion. But I don't think people necessarily understand that Ward was on duty. Okay, that's all the evidence that came out in the trial, that he was on duty. He was coming back actually from an interview on one of those child abuse cases. But whether you're on duty or off duty, plainclothes or uniform, law enforcement officers still have full police powers.
So that's important. So why did this go the way it did, in your opinion?
As far as the way it did, I certainly want to speculate for Mr. Branch as far as his side of the interaction. Mr. Ward testified as to the procession of events, the driving that he witnessed, the decisions he made in contacting Mr. Branch. And remember, you have the video, okay, which you've already spoken about. But what's interesting is, I don't know if this is the right word, but we still don't have any video or documentation of anything that preceded that portion of the incident. We certainly do have that.
So do you think that that piece of video in that aspect worked against you in this case?
I think that people who aren't necessarily educated on use of force, of the law, okay, of use of force, arrest powers, things like that. If you didn't know anything about the case, if you didn't know anything about the evidence, if you weren't sitting in that courtroom every day, if you only got your information from social media, various social media platforms where people have their own bias motivations for what they put things things out or how they frame it, and you just saw that video, and just those snippets of it, I can understand somebody seeing that for the first time going, oh, that's concerning. You know, what's going on there? Okay, I totally understand that. That's why it's important. That's why we have juries, to make sure that they get as much of the story as we can, to let them make a full, educated decision based upon all the evidence and the law.
And good that the jury got it right.
And have you spoken to Officer Ward? He's retired.
It's not. I told you I'd spend some time with you, but I didn't contact him.
How's he doing?
Well, I'm going to speak to him as soon as I'm done with you.
Oh, I got it.
So I haven't contacted him yet, so I can't speak to him. Okay?
I guess I'm just so I understand, because I'm picking this up and we're going to go read all the past articles and try to, you know, I wasn't in there every day like you were.
No,
right?
No. Yes.
I mean,
or other people who came by once in a while.
I mean, there's at some point in this, there was a fine line of discerning something. And what
do you mean?
Well, in terms of for the jury to look at, was he justified to do that restraint? Was he not? You know, whatever. I mean, where in your mind was that? Because the video speaks for itself on a certain level. You and the defense will agree on a lot of stuff, but you didn't agree, and that came down to the part where you didn't agree. And that's the part I'm focusing on that. Like, what was the line that the jury had to?
Are you asking me to summarize, if I can, for you, the main issues as to what was presented to the jury as kind of distilling
I think so. Yeah. I mean, if it's that simple.
Okay. I'll do the people's version. I think I have a good understanding what the defense version is. The people's version is that an on-duty peace officer in plain clothes saw reckless driving that was taking place. He couldn't get the license plate of the vehicle. He saw what the vehicle direction he was going. He was heading the same direction. He got off on the same exit. Eventually contacted that individual. Saw the tactical vest. Contacted the individual. License and registration. Demanded it twice. Badged him twice. None of that is, of course, on the video. Okay, and then you have the interactions that take place on the video, expressing concern about the potential safety concerns of the tactical vest. Okay, and law enforcement officer's position was, I had safety concerns about the tactical vest. I'm telling him he's being detained. I'm pulling out his arm. He turns away from me as he's filming himself. I have a significant safety concern at that time. Okay, and then everything else happens in the video happens. Okay. Defense argument in the case was not reckless driving. Somebody who got upset about their car almost being hit, okay, intentionally did not radio in, intentionally contacted him at the location, being upset, being angry, and basically then escalated the situation by doing so. I think I'll give the defense argument. So it really comes down to the analysis. Okay, was the contact, first of all, lawful? Okay. Secondly, even if the contact was lawful, okay, did Detective Ward use reasonable force in his interaction with Mr. Branch to subdue Mr. Branch? Okay, and clearly the jury has spoken on those issues. All right, that's fine.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.